Several years after we moved to Marshalltown, Dorothy got the hives. She had them especially bad on her hands and the bottom of her feet. This was causing her a lot of problems. She was going to the doctor both for hives and a thyroid problem, which she had had for a number of years. I went in to see the doctor and told him, when our livestock gets sick, we have a vet come out and he gives them a shot and they get better. Can't you do something for her? He said he didn't even know what caused hives, let alone the cure for them. I thought to myself as I was driving home, we're wasting his time and my money. And I got home, I talked to Dorothy about this, and she said she knew of a Benedictine monastery in Pecos, New Mexico, where people could make retreats. I told her to make plans for us to go out there because we didn't have anything to lose in trying this. By the time we went to Pecos, she had had hives for nearly 180 days. We drove out there and it was a beautiful place. Snow fell shortly after we arrived and it was snowy all weekend. On our trip to Rome in 1975, we had become friends with Sister Michelle O'Brien, and much to our surprise, she was making a weekend retreat also. During the healing service Saturday night, we all prayed together for Dorothy to be healed. When we left on Monday morning and were driving down the road, she showed me her hand and said, "Look, no more hives." She never had another outbreak of hives since that time, about 15 years ago. The next summer, after going to Pecos, New Mexico, we were still living in Marshalltown and had made plans to go to Notre Dame for the National Charismatic Conference. We had 2 cars and she was going to drive one and I was going to take the other, and we had about 10 people in our group. I was ready to go, but she hadn't come out, so I went back upstairs and found her sitting in the living room. I asked her what was the matter, and she said she couldn't go because she was having dizzy spells. The thyroid medicine was causing her to be dizzy, especially going downstairs. I talked to her about the trip, and we got in her car. She thought she could get up in the stadium, but didn't know if she could walk down the steps to get out. I told her we would work that out later. We went to the healing service, and Father McNutt's team was praying for people. One of the nuns in his group said there were people who had glandular disturbances and asked everyone to pray for them. Dorothy said, "That's me." They started praying, and all the people singing and praying in tongues was something to behold. When the service ended, I told her we would help her get down the steps. She said she was all right and didn't need any help. But I told her to put her hands on my shoulders and I would walk in front of her. After we got down, it was time for another appointment for the doctor. He asked her if she was still taking thyroid medicine, and she said no, she wasn't. He told her to get back on the medicine because it would always be necessary for her to take it due to the inactive thyroid glands she had. He said no one ever gets off thyroid medication. You just have to keep increasing it. So she started taking the medicine again and ended up by having some vision problems. In fact, one of her eyes enlarged and had a starry look. She went to Iowa City to find out what was wrong. when they got there with the test, they asked her why she was taking thyroid medicine, because she didn't need it. She had taken the medicine for about 10 years, but now she was healed completely. Just another time we had to thank the Lord.